Hi, my name's Eric, welcome back to my channel. Let's talk once again about Madonna. Today, as you requested, I'm going to react to her 1990 album, I'm Breathless, and break down the album's lyrics. From what I understand, this is a combination of a standard soundtrack for the movie Dick Tracy that Madonna starred in, and a companion album inspired by Madonna's character Breathless. Originally, I wasn't planning on listening to this album until I had gotten through all of Madonna's regular solo albums, but the response on my last Madonna video was so overwhelmingly in favor of me listening to this album that I just had to do it, so let me know in the comments down below what Madonna album I should react to next. Check the description box for a link to a list of nonprofits you can donate to. Please subscribe to be here when I post new videos every week, and hit the bell icon to be notified when my videos go live. So I haven't actually seen the movie Dick Tracy, and I don't really know anything about the characters or the world that they live in, but I think that'll all be important when I listen to the album. So I'm just going to poke around a bit online on Wikipedia and on the Dick Tracy fan wiki that I found to get some more information and actually to spoil the movie for myself. I don't mind going into movies spoiled, so if I watch it later, that's not going to be a problem for me, but if you want to watch the movie and you haven't yet and you don't want to be spoiled, this is your warning. I've got my laptop down here off screen, so it looks like Dick Tracy is a police detective. He's known for being sort of tough and smart, and he uses advanced technology and forensics. Oh wow, okay, so he originated in the 1930s, and it looks like his various missions have actually been era-specific, so like in the 80s, he investigated the Russian KGB. Oh, here's an interesting quote. He is the most decorated police officer in America and also known for having killed the most criminals in the line of duty. So that's a lot. Looking at the movie itself, it has a very retro and sort of cartoonish aesthetic. It's a lot of bright colors and pretty goofy styling and macho bombast. As far as the plot of the movie goes, the year is 1938, and Dick Tracy, played by Warren Beatty, Madonna's then boyfriend, is trying to take down a crime syndicate. Breathless is a singer in a club who witnesses a murder, and while Tracy is trying to investigate the murder and this crime syndicate, Breathless is trying to seduce him even though he has a girlfriend. Some other stuff happens, and then it's revealed that Breathless has been working as sort of a vigilante to help Dick Tracy, and then she freaking dies. Okay, I wasn't expecting that, but I guess that makes it a little bit easier for the character of Dick Tracy because then he doesn't have to hurt anyone's feelings in this love triangle, right? I mean, that's kind of a bummer. So again, since this album is from the point of view of Breathless, I'm going to be looking for her characteristics in these songs. So someone who's seductive and power-hungry, who is ambitious and I guess morally ambiguous, and maybe most importantly, an ill-fated lover. Alright, without further ado, track number 1 is He's a Man.
Why do you have to say that you are brave? Have to react to let go. You're a man with a gun in your hand. Your love all around. Oh God, let me be the one. Be with the gun. Bullies and dogs, they take all your time and pain. Don't good guys, have a ball. You're a man with a gun in your hand. Be with the gun. And I don't be with the gun.
Okay, we've got a fade out here. That was fun. I like the jazz influences. It makes sense because this movie takes place in the late 1930s. I really like Madonna's vocals on this song. This was in that era where she was doing a lot of interesting modifications with her voice and changing her tone a lot, and she uses some more rasp and grit on this song, and I think she did a really great job. It was very dynamic. And so lyrically, knowing that Breathless sort of works outside the law and tries to nudge Dick Tracy away from his, I guess, rigid moralism and his morality in general, this song is her trying to get him to run away with her, and not just run away as in into this love, but also away from his black and white worldview, away from being a workaholic, away from all of his responsibilities. So I imagine in the movie there are these parallel external and internal conflicts where Tracy is dealing not only with a physical enemy who threatens his safety, but also with these sort of character and relationship conflicts, and I think Breathless here is planting those seeds of doubt. There's also some foreshadowing here. She says on the chorus, "Let me be the one and I don't mean with a gun," which I think hints at her eventual death. And on the second verse, she says, "Who's going to catch you? Don't good guys ever fall?" And I think this is a pun because Breathless eventually takes the fall for Dick Tracy, but also she wants him to fall for her. Track number 2 is Sooner or Later, which was written by Stephen Sondheim and won the Oscar for Best Original Song.
Sooner or later you gonna be mine. Sooner or later you gonna be mine. I always get my mind. Sooner or later you gonna decide. Baby, it's time, so I waste it in chapter. Baby, you're mine on a platter. I always get my man. If you insist, babe, the challenge delights me. When I get a yeah, I'm gonna love you when you all alone.
Very cool. This is so different from so much of Madonna's other work. It's very interesting to hear her perform in a sort of more Broadway-leaning style because, of course, pop vocal styles are very different from musical theater. And I think she does a really good job, and she also sells the quirks of the character. And what's interesting about Breathless's perspective here is that normally with a sort of femme fatale character, you wouldn't expect her to associate falling in love with being safe, but here Breathless does. Because Madonna opens the song by saying, "Sooner or later you're going to be mine, sooner or later you're going to be fine." And again, that makes sense because we know that Breathless isn't just trying to seduce him, but also protect him. And then she says, "I always get my man," which is clever because it doesn't just mean every guy who I pursue falls in love with me, but to get a man also means to catch or arrest someone. So again, getting her man, Dick Tracy, happens when she gets her man or beats the bad guy. Another detail that I like that comes later in the song is when she talks about getting a yen. Yen, of course, is Japanese currency, but it's also an old slang term for a desire. Breathless as a character is ambitious and money hungry, so whenever she wants something or someone, it's got this transactional veneer over it. So the characterization on the song is really fun. Track number 3 is Hanky Panky. This sounds kind of somber compared to the title. There it is.
Some girls, they like candy. I'll settle for the back of your hand, somewhere on my behind. I don't want you to thank me, you can just spank me. Don't saddle me with kisses, I can get that from my sisters. Before I get too cranky, you better like Hanky Panky. I just wanna thank you like nothing like a good spanky. Please don't call a doctor, 'cause there's nothing wrong with me. 'Cause I don't like a big softy, no. I like someone mean and bossy. You better like Hanky Panky. Nothing like a good spanky. My bottom hurts just thinking about it.
I guess you could say that that song slapped. I actually liked that one a lot. It was a lot of fun. Breathless is talking about her proclivities, her preferences, her paraphilias. As far as character goes, she definitely knows what she wants. And you know, even though at first glance, being on the receiving end of a backhand to the butt might seem like the thing that a docile submissive does, Breathless is definitely not that kind of person. Because this character is living in 1938, so a woman saying exactly what she wants in the bedroom is powerful. So I guess sort of in the same way that she's always got an agenda and likes to be in charge, she's in control of the situation. Breathless isn't a vanilla in any context. She's not content just to sit around and wait for a man to do whatever they want with her, either in the bedroom or out on the mean streets. So the song may not be super deep, but it is hilarious. Track number 4 is I'm Going Bananas.
Hola, eso es loco, loco. I'm going bananas, and I feel like my poor little mind is being devoured by piranhas. But I'm going bananas. Who knows? Maybe the trumpet hit on something that I eat. Someone broke me a room in the house, singing for all my bananas. But I'm going bananas. I'm going with sugar. All day long there's a man in my brain and suddenly playing booga wooga. But I'm going with sugar. Who knows? Could be the wine I drink, or it's the way I think. Yes, I'm going bananas. See, I'm going bananas.
So, like, that's Madonna's weirdest song, right? It's not just me. I have so many questions. So, this song is in a salsa style, which isn't super out of character for Madonna. But then she puts on this inexplicable Spanish accent, which I guess is supposed to be a sign of her, like, having a nervous breakdown. Like, can this be explained? If you can explain it, please explain it to me. It's, interesting that in just 4 tracks, Madonna went from, or Breathless rather, went from this confident seductress to, like, sort of building this intensity of her desire that then very quickly tipped over into a loss of control. We had 3 tracks basically of, like, romantic buildup, where at first it was this elusive and seductive, but still almost euphemistic come on, that then progressed to now let me tell you what's going to happen behind closed doors, that now has poured over into a vat of banana. What does losing her mind have to do with the accent? What is the accent? I mean, I would look more into the lyrics, but there isn't really a whole lot to talk about. Like, I would pick apart puns and things, but these are mostly just expressions, meaning, insanity. I don't know. I didn't hate it. I liked it. It was fun. It was a lot. Now that happened, track number 5 is Crybaby.
My guy is really something. He's sensitive and shy. My guy is such a pumpkin. He doesn't take much to make him cry. He's just a crybaby boy. If you step on a little bug, he cries all over the floor. Ooh, all the time. If I turn out like him, I think I'm gonna cry. Baby, my guy is such a wet noodle. He's always teary-eyed.
Okay, so this one's definitely also going in the weird pile, but I really love Madonna's vocal work on this album. I think she is doing a great job of embodying this character. She is legitimately sounding like a cartoon character, which Breathless is. She's doing a really, really great job. And it's still consistent with her character because she feels like she has so much power in this relationship that she might as well be dating a baby. Well, maybe not. She calls her boyfriend a bumpkin, which is actually kind of mean. It's basically a derogatory term for simple country folk. She calls him a baby and a bore and a wet noodle and a whiner. Again, I don't know if this particular song is in the movie, but I personally would be surprised if Breathless were like negging Tracy. So I guess in the story of the movie, there are two possibilities here. One, she's talking about Tracy and is just trying to assert her upper hand, or she has another boyfriend and she's looking at him and thinking how inadequate he is compared to the solid and strong Tracy. Either way, for a woman living before the advent of color TV, Breathless is pretty transgressive, and I like that. Track 6 is Something to Remember, which is also the name of a Madonna compilation album that I plan on reacting to later.
Seems I played the game for much too long. Never got to sing my songs for you. Set your stakes too high, you're bound to lose. And another man can bring you all life's little pleasures. But you gave me something to remember. In the game of life, I've paid my dues. Wish I had the chance to know you had a worth in stormy weather. I was not your woman, I was not your friend, but you gave me something to remember.
Okay, that was quite the tonal shift from the last song to this one. Breathless has gone from contempt to heartbreak, but I think what has spurred this heartbreak isn't necessarily just a breakup, but also these realizations that she's coming to about her own character. On the first verse, she says, "Seems I've played the game for much too long, I let people buy my love." Like I mentioned before, Breathless has this issue of entangling relationships with transactions. She has a yearning not only for love, but also for money and power. And she realizes that this made her relationships hollow, and so she compares them to a gamble. This was all a game, and just like a gambler might bet too much money, she had really high emotional stakes in these relationships, and then she lost this game and was hurt. But the thing that she's learned in her sadness is to love herself, which I expect, or at least hope, will help her value herself as a whole emotional person and not just a thing to be bought and played with. Track 7 is Back in Business.
I'm gonna show you the good guys don't always win. Just 'cause you got a halo don't mean that you can fly. You made a blunder and you put me back in business. You're my first witness and I'm here to stay. When I want something done, I say it with a gun. Just 'cause you're an angel, don't mean you're having fun. This ain't no hit-and-miss. Don't wanna get my way. Back in business. You're my first witness that I'm here to stay. Back in style. Give me an inch and I'll take a mile.
That was really, really fun. but it also marks a character regression for Breathless. The lyrics to the song are actually similar to those on the opener, so halfway through the album we have reverted back to square one. And we get this just from the title of the song again because she is back in business. She is returning to this transactional mindset. It's the same mindset that set her up for failure and to get hurt on the last song. And because she's back to her old ways, she's again in danger, and so some of the images that fill this song are guns and angels. Death and violence have re-entered the picture at the same time as her old bad habits, and I think we know how that'll end for her. Track number 8 is More.
Once upon a time, I had plenty of nothing, which was fine with me. That was when the best things in life were free. I still got love, I still got rhythm, but look at what I got to go with them. Who could ask for anything more? I hear you query. Got my diamonds, got my yacht, got a guy I adore. I want more. Any number is fine with me, as long as it's more. One is fun, one at two, and if you like two, might as well have four. And if you like four, why not a few? Why not a slew more? Gotta fill your cupboard, remember Mother Hubbard. Something's better than nothing, yes, but nothing's better than more, more, more. That's more.
Album highlight for sure. That was so much fun. And one thing that's so fun about this song is that it's a reversal of the traditional sort of Hollywood leading lady character, because this is a riff off the song I Got Rhythm, which was performed by everyone from Judy Garland to Ella Fitzgerald to potentially your middle school choir, as was the case for me. Madonna is giving some backstory to this persona that she's built. Basically, Breathless used to have nothing. She used to live this simple life and enjoy life's simple pleasures, and now that she has it all, she wants more. And that's kind of weird, right? Because she even says the best things in life were free, so now why would she reject that philosophy in favor of this sort of greed? Realistically, it might just make the audience feel a bit better about the fact that she dies, like maybe it would be less tragic if she had a tragic flaw like ambition or greed. But also she mentions Old Mother Hubbard, who's the character from a nursery rhyme, and a couple things that happen in that nursery rhyme are that first, Old Mother Hubbard finds that her cupboard is empty, and second, she's basically manipulated by her pet dog to keep buying him things while he lounges around. And so Madonna is saying that in this power dynamic, she doesn't want to be Old Mother Hubbard, she wants to be the dog. But to me, this feels like an unevolved version of the Breathless character, one who hasn't yet discovered the type of love that would compel her to get up and work for it and fight for it. Track number 9 is What Can You Lose featuring Mandy Patinkin.
What can you lose? Only the blues. Maybe it's yours. She's had clues which she chose to ignore. As a friend, nothing more. So she closes the door. Once the words are spoken, something may be broken. Still you love her. What can you lose? Leave it alone. Hold it all in. There's too much to lose.
Wow, okay, interesting. I really like that one, especially vocally. The melody was really beautiful. And so I'm not going to assume that the song proceeds directly from the last, but the character similarity here is that Madonna is still playing a version of Breathless who wants to hold on to the upper hand in her relationships. The song is really funny to me because it's sort of like this really imbalanced anxiety sandwich where the bread is fear and then the meat or peanut butter or filling or whatever is, I guess, courage, but the song is almost entirely bread. Because there's just the briefest moment around the middle of the song where Madonna and Mandy say, "Still you love her, what can you lose?" And the fatal flaw of the song is that they answer the question. Ultimately, they decide that it's better to hide your feelings, which I think relates to the character of Breathless because she literally had to put on a mask to express her love for Dick Tracy, and we know that that worked out super well for her. So it looks like track 11 is a remix of track 10, and they have the same lyrics, so I'm going to listen to them and analyze them together. Track 10 is Now I'm Following You Part 1 featuring Warren Beatty, and track 11 is Now I'm Following You Part 2 featuring Warren Beatty.
Let's dance. You can do a little two-step, 'cause I'm following you. My feet might be falling out of rhythm. Let's boogie woogie till our hearts skip a beat. But who's counting encore? Romance is in the picture too. Now I'm following you. Unlikely as it is to me, on the floor with two left feet. Romance is in the picture too. Now I'm following you. Dear. Let's dance. You can do a little two-step. I'll follow you and you step too. 'Cause I'm following you. Unlikely as it is to me. Let's boogie woogie till our hearts skip a beat. Who's counting?
Oh, this sounds like moments from the prior songs too.
Dick, that's an interesting name. Dick. My bottom hurts just thinking about it. Will you knock it off, please? Thank you.
That was really cute, and I like how this last remix actually remixed sort of a summary of the rest of the songs. And it makes a lot of sense to have a dance music remix, not only because I've seen what the next song is, but also because this song works with an idea that Madonna has worked with a lot in her past music, even though she didn't write this song, because it applies the power dynamics of dance to interpersonal dynamics. A common situation you'll hear in a lot of dance music is the sort of metaphor where the person in control plays the DJ and the person being controlled is the dancer, so the DJ influences the dancer to dance. And the situation here sounds like it's Breathless and Dick Tracy both telling each other, you take the lead in this dance. And so because they are subverting the typical power dynamic of one dance partner leading and the other following, it shows us that they, as characters, are embracing a more equal exchange of power. So Breathless has finally found this happy middle ground where she's not totally disempowered like an old Mother Hubbard character, and she's not completely power hungry and self-serving like her voice on More, and she has found it through the magic of dance. And speaking of which, the final track, track number 12, is Vogue.
Strike the pose. Look around, everywhere you turn is heartache. It's everywhere that you go. No less sales than you long to be. Something better than you are today. Come on, let your body move to the music. Hey, hey, hey. magazine. Strike a pose, there's nothing to it.
And that is how the album ends. I'm very surprised and impressed that one of Madonna's most iconic and impactful songs ended up on an album that wasn't a standard studio album. Because Erotica came out just a couple years later and had a lot of house influences, so I feel like this song could have fit alongside songs like Fever. But knowing that the song was written for the nightlife and Breathless is a singer at a nightclub, and that these last few songs used dance as a metaphor for power, the song actually fits surprisingly well. From my limited understanding, part of what Madonna was doing with this song was bringing elements of the queer underground to the mainstream, which was also part of what she wanted to do on Erotica. And in line with that, the lyrics to the song are about liberation and empowerment, especially on the second verse when she says, "Your dreams will open the door. It makes no difference if you're black or white, if you're a boy or a girl. If the music's pumping, it will give you life. You're a superstar." But of course, this isn't just an escape. It's not just limited to the dance floor, because Madonna says on the bridge, "Life's a ball." Again, this might not be super precise, I might just need to research the history a bit more, but ballroom culture is where dances like voguing originated, so she's saying that this type of empowerment isn't just limited to this scene, it's the whole world now. You can go out into the world and feel like a superstar. That's also related to the idea of realness, which was also related to ballroom and drag culture, that you could not just pretend to be like a superstar, but you could embody that. So Madonna is saying if you can find community and empowerment on the dance floor, you can go and find it out in the world too. Overall, this was a really, really fun listen. I think Madonna had the opportunity to sort of separate herself from the Madonna character and embody this character of Breathless, who has so many different elements to her that Madonna could play with, especially experimenting with her vocal delivery, which I just thought was fantastic. As far as favorite tracks go, obviously Vogue stands out, but I also really enjoyed some of the more upbeat jazz-influenced songs like More. This album also had some of Madonna's strangest moments, especially I'm Going Bananas. I truly do not know what to make of that track, but I do know that it was a lot of fun, just like the rest of this album. So thank you so much to all of you who recommended that I listen to I'm Breathless. As always, let me know in the comments down below what music I should react to next, and what other topics you'd like to see me cover on my channel. Check the description for that donation link. Please subscribe to be here when I post new videos every week. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you are staying safe and healthy, and until next time, that's it.